Hi, and welcome back to the show. What am I doing at this point?
Introducing Andy Kaufman.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's Andy Kaufman. Hello, Andy. How are you? Good to see you. This is awfully a very nice surprise. What brings you here?
Well, I'm in New York, and I've been sleeping in doorways to see what it's like, and a very fascinating. It's true. That's what I've been doing. I haven't been in a bed or anything for a few weeks now, and a very fascinating thing happened to me. As I was a few days ago, I was in this doorway, and I had needed a place to sleep, and I was chased out of one place. Like, I found an apartment. It was
dangerous doing this, huh?
Yeah, it's an apartment house staircase, and I was sleeping on it, and I was chased out of there by, I guess, the manager of the hotel or something. So I had to find a place to sleep, and I made a deal with myself that I would only stay on staircases and. Because I want to experience the and so anyway, this fascinating thing.
I'm sorry, we really don't have time. Ed Newman is standing by this morning with our NBC News update. And Ed, are you there?
I'm here, David.
Okay, Ed, nice of you to be here this morning.
Thank you, David. Here is the news this morning. There's been an explosion in a daycare center at a public housing project in northwest Atlanta. There's a report of about 20 injuries, and there may still be some children under the rubble. The cause of the explosion is not known. It took place at a public housing project called Bowen Homes, northwest Atlanta. The winner of the 1980 Nobel Peace Prize was announced today. He is Adolfo Perez Esquivel of Argentina, the head of a group of organizations devoted to human rights in Latin America. Perez Esquivel is 50 years old, an architect and a sculptor. In Iran, a big battle appears to be shaping up for the oil refinery city of Abadan. Iraq says its forces are pushing slowly ahead. Iran says they've been stopped. Fighting continues in the port city of Khorramshahr, where Iraq now appears to have the upper hand. In Turkey, a military court today sentenced 2 men to hang in the shooting deaths last April of a United States Navy man and his Turkish driver. The American was Chief Petty Officer Sam Novello of Erie, Pennsylvania. The killers were said to be left-wing terrorists. Relief officials in Algeria say the dead in last Friday's earthquake at El Asnam may go well past 20,000, and El Asnam will have to be entirely rebuilt. Los Angeles is looking forward to somewhat cleaner air today after 2 weeks of the worst smog in 10 years. It should be cooler and windier. There was a concert last night in Los Angeles by the rock group Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Just after it ended early this morning, 7 people were stabbed. 2 of them are in critical condition. Among the campaigners, Jimmy Carter is in New York City this morning. Later, he's to be in West Frankfort, Illinois, and St. Louis, then back to Washington. Ronald Reagan is in and around Los Angeles. John Anderson is working New York City, Philadelphia, and Chicago. That's it, David.
Very much, Ed. I appreciate that. We'll talk with you tomorrow morning. For the past few weeks, we've been running a contest on our show called Why the David Letterman Show Should Originate from My Home. We received thousands and thousands of entries from all over the United States, and it was very difficult to choose a winner. We have, however, selected our final choice, Howard and Jane Goldsworthy and their children, Gina and Greta Goldsworthy. They live in the city of Cresco, Iowa. They're applauding Cresco, Iowa. I was in Cresco, Iowa over the weekend. It's a wonderful community. We'll be there next weekend, and we'll be showing you that particular television show on the following Wednesday. Perhaps Andy Kaufman will be back here tomorrow. Thank you, folks. Have a good day. Thank you very much, Frank. Once again, October 22nd. Jot it down on your shoe. Plenty of fun. Cresco, Iowa. You've seen my next guest on Saturday Night Live, and he was seen on the hit series Taxi as Latka. However, he has not been on television much lately. He's been, I guess, busy doing other things. Nonetheless, I'm glad that he has agreed to be with us here this morning. Please welcome Mr. Andy Kaufman. Andy, thank you, sir. I really appreciate you being here this morning. It's nice to see you. Tell me about Taxi. Would you like a tissue? Would you like a tissue? Yeah, give me that. Thank you. Have a little, just a little bit of something in here. So, tell me about see that people sometimes eat breakfast while they watch the show. Yeah. Now, there was a TV strike, you know, and some shows were not in production, but now they're going back into production. And are you gonna be on Taxi? You mentioned before the show there were some problems.
Yeah, I quit the show.
You quit the show?
Yeah.
You're no longer going to be on Taxi?
Right.
You have your own show?
No, I'm not doing much special right now. No, this is, you know, I'm once in a while making appearances like on this show.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're probably going to do movies.
Hopefully, I hope.
And I guess you used to be on Saturday Night Live an awful lot, so.
I don't know. I really don't have any control of that. If they asked me, I would do it, but I don't really, there's nothing planned right now for the near future.
Yeah. You doing a lot of nightclubs, though?
Occasionally appearing at the Improvisation in New York. This is a place I started out at.
Yeah, yeah.
Not really much. I'm living in New York now.
Mm-hmm. But things are okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you know, a woman mentioned you. Can I get you a mint? Yeah, I know you wanted to. You had a little. You're going to do a little piece for us this morning. You want to go to that now? What do you want to do?
If you'd like, I can.
We have a stool there. You want to do it?
Thank you.
Thank you. Andy Kaufman, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd just like to, before I begin, I would like to just say thank you very much to David Letterman and the producers of this show and the people that run this show for having me as a guest. And it's a very pleasure to come on the show and be here. I'd like to talk about my marriage. I met my wife several years ago when I was struggling in New York, performing every night at the Improvisation nightclub. I would perform every night for free, and once in a while I would get jobs elsewhere for maybe $50 a night and stuff. And I met her while I was driving up from southern New Jersey one time. She was a cocktail waitress. And we went out a few times, so fell in love and got married. and she worked as a waitress while I was working for free in nightclubs. And we lived together right outside of New York City, and we had 2 children, and names were Mark and Lisa. And the Saturday Night Live discovered me. I'd rather if you don't laugh, because I'm not trying to be funny right now. And shortly after that, I went to California, and things really started happening. I had a manager. I got a manager, Shapiro West and Associates. George Shapiro, a wonderful man, and he was my manager for next few years. And then Taxi came along, and I was doing all these far-out things on television shows, but when Taxi came along, it was just one character, the Latka, and I kind of felt inhibited by it, that, I was just able to do the one character. I wanted to have more freedom creatively to do these other things, and the things I used to do on Saturday Night Live and stuff. And, so anyway, I quit the show, and my wife, at that time I was wrestling women on Saturday Night Live. I got a lot of hate mail, and no producer would hire me after that. So one day I was at my manager's office trying to get an engagement for a dinner theater in Wisconsin. And I got a call from my wife's lawyer. She wanted a divorce. And she got a divorce. She got the kids, the house. She got all my money. Not all my money, but some. Anyway, she got everything. I moved to New York, and now that's what I'm doing now, living in New York. And I don't really have anything. So anyway, if anybody could, I know this sounds like a cliche, but if you could, any extra money that you have, I would appreciate it.
Please come with me. We have to go. We can't do this here, so we have to go. Come on. Be a good boy. That's it. Stop.
Okay.
I'm not going to stay here. No problem.
All right, fine. Well,
Well, I'm so
all
sorry.
right, there we go. It's always a pleasure to have... Always a pleasure to have the young talent on the show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Andy Kaufman was here, and he was only kidding. I think.